disconnect? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Let's come a little bit more towards the camera.
No, for sure.
And your name was Adolfo, right?
Adolfo, yeah.
Time, man.
Of course, man, yeah. Around here, it just doesn't seem like there's much opportunity for people to really get to know each other. It just seems like, people, like you used to see now, like people don't really have that drive to really say hi to each other, or that community aspect where it's like, I have someone that can go for help. I have someone to go to really take care of my needs. If I have any questions, I'm like, hey, I need help with like finances, or I know someone who's looking for a job. You don't really have those really places where they can guide you to those just necessities, like day-to-day life things.
Some people might argue that there's a ton of resources in Lynn. But let's say that's true. I know there's quite a few.
Right.
But your observation is there's a disconnect between where the resources are and where the people are.
I think adding to that, it may be here. At least for me, there's just not that like, where do I go?
Right on.
There's not that like, okay, there may be the opportunities, because there's opportunities everywhere we go in life, but it's about the direction. Like if I just came here, I don't know where to go. If I just moved to Lynn, I don't know where to go to find those resources. The resources may be here, but I think it's finding that mediator, that middleman, to be like, okay, I'm going to reach those people who maybe aren't aware and connect them to the people who have the resources.
That's a sacred duty right there.
So
how have you seen that, or if you've seen that play out in other cities or anywhere in your travels? Have you seen that, like the opposite of that?
Growing up, so I'm really like, I live here in Lynn, but I'm really like a Salem guy.
Okay.
So like Salem has events going on.
Right.
Like we have the Salem Summer Jam. I don't know if you've been there. Yeah, so Salem Summer Jam is like probably the biggest events we have in Salem. And it's just like we connect with different dance groups, different just community services,
Right, they're at the events.
Right, it's all at the Salem Willows, but one thing that kind of connected it was like having those people who knew those people.
Right.
But also, social media, being able to share through social media. Social media is a good mediator. Just having that foundation where like, okay, you have these two groups, but you need something to connect them together, and that's the people who are willing to serve, willing to go the extra mile to be able to bring those two people together for the sake of having that community.
Right on, 100% on that. Let me ask you this, because you sound like somebody that you can walk into an area where you don't really know what's going on or where to find things, but you'll figure it out because you sound like you don't have any trouble talking. But for somebody that's going through it, maybe they're addicted to something, maybe they're homeless, maybe their mind is not right, and they're looking for, like you said, where do I go? As a person, also, you said you're studying psychology. Whether you look at the big picture or the small picture of the big picture, what ideas do you have for filling that gap, bridging that gap, knowing that we have these people out here wandering and looking and in need, people like us that have some aptitude but might not know where all the resources are. What are some ideas you think that could kind of bridge that gap a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I like how you said smaller scale and bigger scale, because we can look at it from that range. I think from the smaller scale, having more therapists, having more like, group sessions with people who are going through mental health issues, addictions, things like that. Having more of those services around here. At least for me, I'm a faithful man. So I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And so from a bigger perspective, having more people, especially the church, especially the community, as in like ministry, having those people, and this is going to go to another topic, but being able to engage with the community, being able to serve the community, and steer people to hope, steer people towards that there is a God who loves you, you know, and He did die for you, you know, and He can give you eternal life, you know, and that's just by faith, not by works, you know. And so, like, being able to just direct people and have those opportunities for people to get together, for people to be seen, do therapy, group sessions, you know, even things just like food, you know. Some people are just struggling just to have food out here, you know. Having events like that, you know. But I think for me, what's important for me is really for the church to really step up and step out.